Hey honeybees, my name is Yasmin and this is Yazzie Plays. How are you doing today? Welcome back to my channel guys. If you are a returning subscriber, as always, thank you for the support, and if you are new here, why not say hey in the comments. Now, a few of you will notice that this video is different to my usual videos and it's a little bit more of a how-to or a tutorial. And all I wanted to do is explain to you guys how I went from 0 to 100 subscribers in a month. Now, I've been thinking about doing this for a while. I am by no means a big YouTuber. I am still a very, very small YouTuber. However, I do feel like I did benefit from fast growth, and if I can help at all with benefiting a few of my other fellow YouTubers getting that growth, then that is what I would love to do. I also did a poll on Twitter just to see if you guys would be interested, and the feedback I got back from that was amazing. So let's see how I did it. Okay, now first and foremost, I know that some of you watching this video want to start a Sims YouTube channel but haven't yet mustered up the courage to just do it. And my first tip is just do it. There is no way you can grow as a YouTuber if you do not put yourself out there. I know it's scary, however, once you've overcome that milestone, you're already on your way to success. Now, I'm going to try and do a detailed breakthrough of kind of all of the things I did before starting my channel, the things that I was thinking about, and the things that I did continuously to grow. So this is beneficial to anybody who hasn't yet started their channel or is struggling to get to their first 100. Now, first and foremost, content ideas. So you know you want to start a channel, but what are you going to put out? Now that seems like a simple question, but it really isn't. Sims 4 and Sims in itself, as with any gaming channel, is obviously going to be a very oversaturated market. So first and foremost, you need to find your niche. Now, being a Sims channel in itself is a niche, but let's talk about your sub niche. Are you going to be doing speed builds? Are you going to upload creator sims, let's plays, or storytelling? When they see your channel and they click on your channel, what are they going to watch? What type of content are they going to consume? Until you know what you want to put out, I wouldn't put anything out, because you want to stick to a niche, and you can maybe have one or two niches depending on if they are beneficial to each other. So maybe you might do speed build and you might showcase other people's builds because that's related to building, or you might do let's plays and you might do storytelling because you'll be doing storytelling in your let's play. But try not to make your niche too broad, because if you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody. That is something that is worth remembering, because if somebody is subscribed to you because they like seeing speed builds, and then all of a sudden their feed's full of creator sims, they'll be like, hang on a minute, this is not what I subscribed for, and they might unsubscribe, and we don't want that. So the second thing I did, I obviously decided off the bat that I was going to do creator sims. Now, why did I do this? At the time, I did not have a good laptop, I did not have a microphone, so I was like, I want to start this channel, and I did creator sims. Now, I knew that I didn't want to carry on doing creator sims. I did it because I wanted to put myself out there and start getting viewed. I wanted to do challenges, and if you see my channel now, other than when you go really far back, you will see that all I upload is challenges, challenges, challenges. And why did I do that? Because I saw that is something that I enjoyed, that's the type of gameplay I enjoyed, and that was something that was popular on YouTube. So make sure when choosing these niches that you are doing something that you enjoy, because ultimately, if you don't do something you enjoy, it will turn into a chore. So after I had picked my niche, which I obviously decided that I wanted to do challenges, but instead I was uploading creator sims, I wrote a list in my notes of 20 video ideas, just so that if I ever got confused or I wasn't sure what I wanted to upload, I could always refer back to that, and I had a good list of content ideas to upload. So now you have decided what type of content ideas that you would like to upload, and you've come up with a list of at least 20. Now the first thing you will need, and we're talking and looking at the resources that you will need for a successful channel, or you at least want to think about, you're going to need the Sims game. if you want to be a Sims YouTuber, it is essential to have the Sims game. Now, there's just something I want to put out there, and that is that it is not essential to have every expansion pack. It will help with gameplay, for example, if you will be a Let's Play YouTuber, but it's not essential, and there are so many people out there who only have base game, so do not let this be a barrier for yourself. The next thing I would look at is a way to record your screen. Now, I use OBS Studios, and that is a screen capture system that can record your gameplay. Now, you don't need to use OBS, that is just one I use myself, and there are many YouTube videos talking about how to set up OBS for your computer. I know some people don't use it because their system can't run it. However, I will link a video down below that might be helpful if that is a problem you are facing. And then after that, you've recorded your footage, which is brilliant. You've already overcome your first milestone. Now, you're going to need a way to edit your video. Now, I use Premiere Pro, which is paid for, and I've heard that Shotcut and Lightworks are also great free alternatives to use in order to edit your videos. Now, on to GIMP. Thumbnails. You've edited your video, you've recorded your video, now you want to make an interesting thumbnail. Once again, I use Photoshop. However, GIMP, which is where we're on to now, is also a great free alternative. And just remember, guys, with your thumbnails, it is very important, because why else would people want to click on the video? They've seen your title on their feed, but if the video looks dull and boring because you picked a dull and boring thumbnail, they are less likely to pick that one instead of one that has a bright thumbnail with clear text that looks more intriguing. So just think about that when you are creating your thumbnails. Now, there are a few more things that I would say are not essential, but it might be beneficial to look at if you were doing this long term. I bought myself a microphone. If you want smooth audio, it is nice and easy to just get a USB microphone. Now, I've got the Blue Snowball Ice microphone. I believe it was about £60, but I cannot promise that. However, you can buy USB microphones on Amazon for around £20, and they don't need to be anything special, but it is something that might be worth getting so you can get that smooth, crisp audio that everybody likes. Now, the other thing I would look at is you might decide that you want to use your webcam. I personally don't use it that very often unless I am streaming. However, some of you might decide that you want to use your webcam all the time. So you can use your integrated webcam in whatever device you're using, your mobile phone, or you may even consider buying a webcam on Amazon. Once again, you can get webcams for around £20, and if I see any that look okay, I will link them in my bio. And the other thing, and this is something that I've only just started using recently that has been very helpful to me, is TubeBuddy. However, I will go into that a little bit more later. Once again, TubeBuddy is, the link is in my bio. It's really helped me, and it is about your SEO, which is search engine optimization. Now, I'm sure that I'm not the only one who found this, but all of a sudden, commentating your game as you play comes as quite a shock. We are not used to naturally talking about our gameplay, making conversation, and talking to an audience. Now, I found this quite weird to get used to, and I used to have to edit out so many silent parts because I'd just forget to speak and forget that you guys were watching. Now, a way to combat this is maybe make a bullet pointed list, or maybe a short kind of overview of a script of ideas that you want to talk about. Now, I've always done challenge videos, and you've got a set of rules to follow, but it's not always easy to maintain that focus, not procrastinate, not babble on, and get confused. So I always like to make myself a little note, and it was actually my good friend Maya who told me to do this because her storytelling is on point. And really, it's just about making it a little bit easier to get from A to B to C. Another thing that would be beneficial is to plan your recording schedule. Now, YouTube, the algorithm really likes consistency. Now, I am not the best person to speak to you about consistency because you are looking at the girl who took about a month or two off. However, I know that consistency is very beneficial because if you are not consistent, your results will suffer. Now, I used to get so much engagement, and as soon as I took that month off where YouTube didn't know when I was going to upload again, they were not supporting my content anymore. They were not pushing it out to new viewers because they didn't know when I was going to return. So my engagement took a massive dive because I was not consistent. So I may not be the best person in practice, however, I can vouch that consistency works and your engagement will increase over time if you are being consistent. Now, a way to do this is making yourself a little schedule, and I actually looked at another YouTuber who mentioned a best case and worst case scenario. Now, let's say this. So, best case scenario, you might decide that you want to upload 4 times a week, which is great, and if you can keep to uploading 4 times a week, that is brilliant. However, you might do a worst case scenario of uploading 3 times a week. Because then, even if you haven't managed to hit your 4 times a week, you are still consistently, weekly, pushing out content. So YouTube will know that you are either going to be uploading 4 times or 3 times a week. It's not about, consistency is hard, but it's about making realistic expectations for yourself. Sometimes we get burnt out, and that is okay, but try your best to make sure that you keep to your worst case scenario so you are still getting consistent uploads out there. Now, the other thing I think is worthy of a mention is planning for your audience. You need to make sure that you are doing appropriate themes and language for your audience depending on the age of viewers that you would like to broadcast to. For example, if you want to be accessible to all, you will make a family-friendly channel. You will not swear and you will not do things that are not PG-13. However, you might decide to broadcast to adults and then it's fine. But just make sure that you are following the correct guidelines for the audience that you are targeting. So I try my best to keep it accessible to all. However, sometimes I might slip up, but at the end of the day, on my algorithm and in my analytics, I can see that my subscribers range from different ages of adulthood, so I don't need to worry as much. Now, I will break down the analytics of YouTube another day on another video, but it is worth looking at this. And the other thing I would say, and I said this before, come up with at least 20 video ideas, but in the beginning, I found at least it was not about quality. Try your best to maintain quality, but it is definitely about quantity in the first beginning weeks. Because the thing is, if you are lucky enough that someone stumbles across your channel, but they've only got one good video, are they likely to subscribe? Ask yourself that question. Try to get at least 20 videos out so that if someone does come across your channel, they do have the opportunity to binge. Because I myself, if I see a video and it's good, I've probably watched at least 3 of their videos before I even think about subscribing. Now, another thing I'd like to talk about, which I said before I would talk about more, is your thumbnails. Thumbnails are extremely important as they are the first impression that someone may get of your channel. Whether this is from Google search itself, whether they've come across it on social media, or even if it is on their home feed on YouTube, the first thing they're going to see is the thumbnail of your video. Before even the text, before they read into it, the thumbnail of your video. Now, the tips I would say to use, and I'm still playing around with my thumbnails, which is okay. It is good to play around and see what works best with your viewers. However, the tips I would use and try and stick to is create a different thumbnail each time. Now, this is once again something I am still working on. It's easy to get lazy sometimes and just kind of re-upload and change the text. However, if you want a new engagement from that, what if that person might have already seen that thumbnail before, so they think it's the same video? Try to avoid that by making a different background each time. Obviously, it's a Sims channel, so using different Sims, changing their Sims outfits, just trying to make sure that each thumbnail you put out is different and kind of make sure that it gives a clear idea of what your video is. Think of your thumbnail as the blurb. So before they even read it, which the description, don't get me wrong, the description is the blurb of your book. Okay, but the thumbnail needs to give a clear idea of what it is. So say you were going to get a book, and this book you wanted to read was about bees, but all of a sudden it showed you a picture of a bite. Are you going to read it? No. So try and make sure it is relevant to your video and gives a clear idea of what the video is. Another way you can do this is by writing on it. So you'll see with mine, my 100 baby challenge says 100 baby challenge. On all of my videos, I try to have The Sims 4, so as soon as people see it, they know what game I'm playing. Make sure that this writing is clear and that it is bright. Make sure that it's readable from whatever icon size they are seeing your thumbnail. Honestly, if you stick to these, you should have great thumbnails, and I think it will be really beneficial. They do other YouTuber groups on Facebook where you can ask people to rate your thumbnail, and that might also be helpful for you. So just kind of play around, see what works, but honestly, you really want a good thumbnail. Now, the way that thumbnails work on the analytics is the impressions. Now, I said I will go into analytics a different time, but every single time someone sees your thumbnail, it is your impression. Now, say that you are getting great impressions, but you're not getting a good click-through rate, and a click-through rate is people seeing that impression and clicking on the video. Now, if you're not getting that, you need to think either my thumbnail's wrong, my text is wrong, or the description's not right. But for them to see the description, they would have already had to click on the video. So if you want people to click on your videos, it is the thumbnail and the title of the video that is the most important. Okay, so at this point you should know how to record your video, you know how to edit your video, and you know how important that thumbnails are. Now I will include a how to edit video type thing in the description because it's different for each person, but I want to try and make sure that this is as helpful as possible. But we are now on the stage of uploading your video. It's very, very good to add an end card once it's finished processing, and to add an end card on YouTube Studio. Now, this is kind of self-explanatory, but the end card shows up at the end of your video and prompts your viewers to watch another one of your videos on your channel, maybe either a previous video or a recommended. You can pretty much choose what you'd like it to do. However, it's so good that as soon as they start losing attention on your video, you can just say, "Here, guys, here's another video." Now, I would also recommend putting in your description, like, if you enjoyed this video, here's where you can watch more, and maybe you can link your playlists or other videos that you would like them to watch. This is just giving them a friendly little push, and it is perfectly fine to do. Now, speaking about playlists, playlists are very good in compiling your content, and if somebody is enjoying a video in a series, why not make it easy for them to find all of them videos by making a playlist? This will also help with engagement and is something that I recommend that you do. Now, the other thing that is important, and just as important as the thumbnail, is a good title and a good description. Now, the algorithm works and it's hard to break down, and I said I'll talk about this more in another video. But if you think of YouTube as a robot, now you've put out this video and there are thousands, maybe even millions of videos that are put out every single day. So the text in your video, your title and description, is going to be read by this robot so they know who to promote this video to. For example, The Sims 4. The Sims 4 is a keyword, and it's not a great keyword because it will be very overused. However, the YouTube robot that reads The Sims 4 is going to know that if people type in The Sims 4, that your video is in that category. Now, that is a brief example, and it's not the best example to use because it is a very overused example. However, make sure your description is put so basically and describe every single thing that's going on so that if YouTube wanted to, and if somebody searched in the search bar, they could find your video. Now, the more keywords you add and the more information you provide the robot with, the more likely your video is going to get promoted and pushed to that person based off what they type in the search bar. So this is really useful, and the great tool to look at, and the one that I said I'd mention later on, is TubeBuddy. Now, TubeBuddy is kind of like an add-on to YouTube that you can have, and TubeBuddy really has helped me with my SEO. Now, for those of you who don't know the marketing terminology, SEO is search engine optimization. Now, YouTube is the second biggest search bar and SEO type thing other than Google. So the second biggest search engine, sorry. So Google owns YouTube and is the biggest search engine, and YouTube is next. Now, you want to make sure you're ranking on these videos because that is what is going to drive traffic to your channel. Now, a way that you can do this is by using TubeBuddy. Now, you can have different memberships. I actually use the Pro version. However, there is a free web browser that helps you see what keywords rank. Now, the way it does this is you type in your title, and in the keywords or tag section at the bottom of your YouTube Studio search engine, only if you've enabled it as a web browser, please do not forget to do this, and this part is free, recommend tags and keywords that are beneficial. Now, depending on, if you're using the free limited version or if you are using Pro, you really don't need anything other than Pro, but if you want to go higher, you can. It will tell you what keywords are the best, where they rank. If you double tap on the keyword, it will tell you how good it is in comparison to the others. It will show you how you rank in comparison to competition, and it is overall just really helpful. Now, when you are using these keywords in tags, whatever keyword it says is good, you want to try and fit into your title and fit into your description as much as you can. Now, obviously, don't just go keyword crazy and just add it. Make sure that it makes sense, but if you can add keywords, this is the way to do it. Now, they currently got a discount on, and that is if you've got less than 1,000 subscribers, you can actually get the Pro version for cheaper, and it is really not that expensive at all. However, as I said, you can use this feature from the free web browser, and I actually have a link in my bio, and if you click my link, you can use the free version from there, or you can decide, hey, I want to step it up, this has been helpful, let me get the Pro version. And as I said, it is quite affordable, and now I've used it on my channel, I could never go back because it's been so helpful to me recently that I would never want to go back. And now that you've uploaded your video, the next part, which is very beneficial as well, is promotion. This is what really aided my growth in the initial days. Now, what I did was I joined a lot of Sims 4 Facebook groups, and my biggest tip is engage in the community. These other Simmers, whether they are YouTubers or not, are your target audience. If they enjoy the Sims game, they share a passion with you, and they probably also enjoy watching other people. Now, as I said, joined loads of Sims 4 Facebook groups. Now, you need to make sure you read the rules to make sure that you don't get banned. But in some of these groups, sharing is allowed, and it can be like anything to do with The Sims, share any content to do with The Sims, and this is a way that you can share your videos and promote your channel. Now, as I said, you have to engage in the community. Now, just dropping a link is not engaging. You need to make sure that you're not just sharing and that you're also supporting the others in this group, conversating and being genuine. Now, the other thing I would say has helped me is Twitter and Instagram. And the thing that I started doing, which kind of gave me a few subscribers daily, which I found really useful, was not only engaging with the creators, but if I saw someone who had a similar target audience to me, who were a similar size channel, I would also then see who followed them and engage with their followers as well. Because if I can engage with their follower who might also like my content and they happen to come across me and they've never have before, that's one extra subscriber I could gain. As I said, make sure you are genuine and make sure that these people are not numbers to you. These people are your friends and you are part of the community, and trust me, if you can treat them like that, it's great to have a community around you. And honestly, this was a very big benefit to me in my growth. And I would say, if anything, this is the main tip to take out of this video, because I managed to get so much growth so fast in a month. And a lot of the time, this is what I was doing. Now, another tip I'd like to mention that I feel like I forgot to mention was it is okay to give your viewers a little push. It is okay to ask them to like or comment or subscribe, as it is so easy to forget if you're invested in a video that you may end up not subscribing to someone you're interested in. But if you've got that little push at the start of the video or the end of the video, and if they were already going to, then this just is a little reminder. It's a little friendly reminder that could end up making sure that you maintain and retain that viewer. So that is definitely something that I would do. Simple things like I always say, make sure to ding that bell for post notifications, because if they enjoy your videos and they want to be there first, then they should click that bell. And so there we are. Those are my few tips that I use to grow my channel from 0 to 100 in a month. Please do let me know if this has been helpful at all, or make sure to comment anything that I've missed, as I can definitely do more videos like this if it's been helpful. And I know I'm not a big YouTuber, but I do feel like these tips did definitely help me, and it doesn't hurt, you know, it doesn't hurt. But yeah, I hope you guys have found this beneficial. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to like, subscribe, and ding that bell for post notifications, and you can see more like this if you like it. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. Sending love, sending hugs. Bye.